Karo has progressed from a teenage enthusiast to a continental record holder, and she's aiming to join the world circuit as a professional.
We're here in the beautiful west coast town of Langebaan, known as one of the world's top windsurfing destinations. It's hardly a surprise then that this is the home of Africa's female slalom champion and speed record holder, Karo Van Tonder. I'm hoping conditions are just right to see her in action.
A familiar sight to locals, this blonde thunderbolt caught the attention of big windsurfing brands 2 years ago.
Karo, you haven't always lived in Langebaan, but this is where your love for windsurfing was born.
Yes, in fact, I grew up in George and we came to Langebaan for our summer holidays. And because of the wind, my dad started teaching me at the age of 12 already. So when I turned 16, my mom said, well, it's time for you girls to go for a lesson, which is the reason why I met my husband here, because he was my instructor, basically. And then from there, it really snowballed and I started to really compete overseas, internationally and representing South Africa.
Well, I'm no expert, but Google says it's a great day to go out and windsurf.
It is definitely. The white water cups are showing, so let's go.
With few South African women competing in the sport, our champion encourages new recruits. It's a full-body workout, offers a mental break from everyday stress, and it's social.
What makes Langebaan the perfect place to come and windsurf?
Langebaan is in fact, I think, the most well-known windsurf spot in Africa because of its constant, reliable wind every season. People come from all over the world to sail here, so we're really lucky to be on such a world-class windsurf spot.
Can you tell me more about your discipline?
I do slalom sailing and speed sailing competitively for fun. So basically, slalom sailing is when a group of windsurfers do a course around buoys against each other in a certain time. So it's a downwind course and you race against the group. Speed sailing is when we go to Ludritz and the channel is really narrow, 7 meters wide, it's 20 centimeters deep, and you want to go as fast as you can within a 500-meter distance, and they measure your average speed there. So you set a speed record, it's downwind sailing.
The giant leap in Karo's career happened when she became a team rider for an Australian sail brand, got the best racing equipment, and saw her skills level rocket. Seeing this bombshell cross the water at 70 kilometers an hour got the attention of agents who approached her to endorse everything from swimwear to a line of skincare products. It's not the easiest sport, but the years of dedication are paying off.
Nice going. Now, how do I do what you just did?
Well, the first step to windsurfing is you must know exactly what direction the wind is coming from. So the best way to know that is you can actually hear where the wind is coming from by tilting your head into the wind, and when you feel the pressure is the same on both ears, you know you are standing exactly against the wind direction. So the wind today is coming from the south.
I was going to say let's take this one step at a time, but I think it's one of those all-in type of sports.
When you first get your center of balance, you'll see that because your front foot is still in the front of the mast base and your other foot is standing at the back, you will see that you can actually move your front leg just behind the mast base and you'll be a bit more balanced.
Jade listened to every tip, but there's no elegant way to learn this sport. Karo tried to inspire her with romantic tales of how she and her husband Karo Van Tonder tandem board together, but nothing helped. So Jade changed the subject to Karo, the Stellenbosch food science graduate, chef and entrepreneur.
I started a catering business, Karo Catering, about 3 years ago. I work from home and I do like exclusive wedding cakes, theme cakes and all types of corporate catering. I really love to be creative, so I love this business that I'm running, yeah.
Ooh, so what are we going to make?
So today we are doing the chocolate fudge cake, and firstly we are going to mix it all together so that it becomes really nice and fluffy. This is where the top secret comes into the recipe. The broken chocolate, you can start breaking that up a little bit. And when we have a mixture of the dissolved chocolate, we are going to add a nice big scoop of instant coffee. Then lastly, we are going to add a cup of buttermilk. So it also helps to keep it really nice and rich.
How often do you train?
You really have to be very strong, endurance-wise and strength-wise. So I do a lot of endurance cardio training. Every second day, do long-distance running and mountain biking. And then when the wind is blowing, in the windy season, I do a lot of windsurfing every day. It can go up to 4 hours a session. And that in itself is really a great way to work out.
As a pro windsurfer, how important is diet to you?
With my food science degree, I'm so fortunate to know all the in-depth knowledge about dieting correctly. And I follow a very balanced diet, a lot of lean proteins, vegetables, fruits. And yeah, I try to not make it such a strict thing. You know, life is still there and you have to enjoy life. And we work hard on the water, so we also get to treat ourselves.
Joining us to enjoy the best of Karo's baking were her parents Jus and Elizabeth Bester, as well as her husband Charles.
I believe all three of you played a very important part in Karo's success.
My husband taught her how to windsurf, but as a matter of fact, I showed him how to windsurf.
She learned how to windsurf on one of the original windsurfers that was imported into the country way back in the 80s. And then from there on, it just snowballed. It became a family activity and still is.
When did you realize she has what it takes?
Well, that was basically the first lesson about 15 years ago. I just noticed she just doesn't give up. She just keeps on going, and she'll do anything to perfect it and get it right. She's just dedicated and tenacious. And I think with her positive attitude and that characteristic of her, just being so determined, that's why she is where she is.
Well done. So, Karo, what's next for you?
So this year I will go and compete again in Mauritius to defend my African slalom title. I will also go and compete at Lüderitz at the World Speed Records to defend my African speed title, and also I'll do another longest race in the world. This year it will be 100 kilometers. It will be the first one in the world, so that's also one of my goals this year.
Well, I'm already following you and I'm sure you're going to go from strength to strength.
The icing on her success is that the champ recently launched her lifestyle blog, Karo Life, and her own sports and leisure wear brand.